Hey, what's happening, everybody? Happy Friday! Cinco de Mayo Friday. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. A little rainy here in New York, but that's okay. Got my windshield wipers on. I'm sitting here in the parking lot, and I'm thinking about my live stream today, and I wanted to make sure I hit live and let you guys know that I'm here. For those of you that are on the East Coast, hello to you. Those of you on the West Coast, happy afternoon. For those of you that are in different parts of the world, hello, how are you? Hope you're doing great today. The one topic I've been hearing a lot about recently is something called change. It's sort of that word that people either get it right here and they can't deal with change, or they welcome change. And I want to talk to you a little bit about that today. I'm going to wait a few minutes for people to come in. So thank you for joining. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it. Hello, Carlos. Hello, Tony. Thank you so much. Miss Barbara Rampert is in the house. How you doing, Barbara? Thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. And Anna, thank you guys for being here very much. Again, happy Cinco de Mayo. So this thing called change that we all have to face in life. And let me go through a couple of things about change that have really kind of hit hard or hit home with me. You know, there's this change that is constant, right? Which is you're aging, you're getting older, your body goes through changes, your mind goes through changes, things go through changes in your life. So when you think about change in general, it's something you have to look at and embrace it, right? Think of like the changes of the season, right? Like, you know the movie or the show HBO, it's called Game of Thrones, right? And the opening line is, one of the opening famous lines is, winter's coming. Well, winter's not coming anymore. Winter is over. It's now going to be the spring, and before you know it, the summer will be here. So change of the seasons is always good. I mean, you don't get upset when the summer gets here, do you? That's a welcome change, right? But then when winter comes, some of you say, well, I don't like winter because it's cold. I don't like dealing with the snow. I don't like dealing with the ice. But embrace that change, because what it does, it gives you perspective. It gives you a way to look at things differently, right? So embrace that kind of change. The second change I want to talk to you, so the change of the seasons is one thing. The other change is life change, right? I mean, I'm 53 years old, so I've gone through some pretty significant changes in my life. When I was 25, I was a very different person than I am now at 53. I was a different person at 33, and I was a really different person at 43 and 44. 7.5 years ago, my life changed significantly, and I'm a different person from when that was that many years ago. But the thing I realized about the change is that it helps you face things in your life that you have been ignoring for a long time. So when you go through change in life, such as life change, like women go through that life change thing, men go through hormonal life change thing, you have to just learn to embrace it. It's part of life. It's part of the ecosystem of life. It's they call it the circle of life. This is how it is. You're born, you live, you experience, and you die, right? When you go through a change in your life, take it as a positive and step back and ask yourself, how can I be a better person because of this change? How can I use this in my life, right, to make myself better? Isn't Jordan Belfort? You look, oh, okay. No, I'm not Jordan Belfort. I didn't rape and pillage women, and I didn't do tons of cocaine. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not Jordan Belfort. But I would tell you is that think about the changes that you go through in your life. Look at it as you embrace it. So Anna's asking me what change I went through 7.5 years ago. I got divorced. I was married to somebody for 20 years. We had 4 amazing children, but my entire life changed when I got divorced. And I can tell you this, as I get further away from that time, I look back and say, I'm really glad that happened. Now, if my kids are watching this, they may have a different story of it. And maybe when they get older, they'll understand what daddy means. But when you step away from a life-changing experience like divorce, right? So for those of you that have gone through divorce or have in divorce or have been through divorce or facing divorce, let me give you some insight on divorce. It is probably one of the most traumatic things you'll ever go through, but it could be the most liberating thing in your life. So when you step back and you take a look at what happened in your life when you go through a divorce, you ask yourself this one question: how is this going to make me a better person? And you know what? It's going to make you better naturally, because it forces you to face things that you haven't faced in a long time. Divorce just doesn't happen like that. Divorce is something that's built up over years. It could be months and years of time. So when you get divorced, it's not like, oh shit, I'm getting divorced. It's like, oh, I guess I'm finally getting divorced. So when you go through that life change, some people are going to go through depression. Some people are going to go and screw around with everybody. Some people are going to try to go back to their marriage. But the fact remains is that when you get divorced, it's a message for you to say, here, go make changes in your life, because now it's time for you to make changes. Yes, I am speaking from experience, Tina. Yes, I am. Thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate it. Yes, I was married 20 years, never thought I got divorced, and then boom, I got divorced. Best thing that ever happened to me, because I married the woman of my dreams. I married my best friend, and it's somebody that I never expected to be my best friend or to be my partner in life. I mean, I knew, but I just never really knew. And then I married her, and it's been great. And I'm married a year coming up this June, so it's really wonderful. So let me keep on change here, guys, okay? If you like this, if you like what you're hearing, please share it out. Put little comments here in the box and share it out with your friends. Change is such a good thing. I have gone through change in my life. Number one, not only in my life change as a man, going through hormonal changes, going through life changes, going through cycle changes. I've not only gone through job changes, I've not only gone through friend changes, I've gone through changes where my best friend in life had died. He was not even 25 years old. Tommy was my best friend for many, many years. That was a shock. His life changed for me. When my mom passed away, that was another change in my life. But let me tell you, let me get off the death thing and the divorce thing for a second, okay? Change puts you in a position to force you to look at things in your life that you've been ignoring for a long time. Here's an example. You're at a job for a couple of years, and all of a sudden, you're not in that job anymore. They let you go. Or you decide to quit. That's a change. And that change, again, is forcing you to, what change does, it puts the things that you've been ignoring from here right to here. It's like right in your face. And you can't push it to the side. You can't push it away. You can't push it down. It's right here in your face. Here's another life-changing experience I had. In November of 2016, I had the amazing opportunity to go to a Tony Robbins event called Unleash the Power Within. I watched Tony Robbins for 30 years of my life, and all of a sudden, Tony Robbins extended an invite to me. I'm not saying I'm super special. I'm sure he extended invites to many people. I was so blessed and honored, and I get emotional about it. I was so honored to have Tony invite me to his event. And we had great seats. We had a great time. The experience of UPW is something that every human being should experience. Everybody should go through the UPW experience, because what it does, it puts you in a state to be completely liberated. It helps you draw out all of the shit that's in your life, take it up, wrap it in a ball, and just throw it away, and you live your complete unfiltered life. That is what UPW did for me. I met some really great people. I actually met this young lady, I forget her name, but I'm wearing a bracelet that she gave me from the show. It's called, it says, "You are amazing." And I've been wearing this since November of last year. I haven't taken it, I think I might have taken it off once, but I haven't taken it off. So for the gal who I met, she was in the front row of UPW. If you've ever watched this, I still have your wristband. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I always believe that I'm amazing, and I always want to meet amazing people. So the other change I had in my life meeting with Tony Robbins was I actually got a chance to go on stage with him. We had a brief conversation, and then I wrote him a personal note saying that I was so honored to be able to meet with you. I thanked him for the tickets, and then Tony and I had a very brief, 2-minute conversation. I told him I loved him. He said he loved me. I started to cry. He started to get teary-eyed. But that experience meeting Tony, and listen, put the fan and the celebrity stuff aside. This is not a fan or celebrity confession here. This is, I'm sharing with you something vulnerable, right? Russell Brunson seems like a really amazing guy. I've been following him recently. He says you got to be vulnerable, and I've always known that, but I'm just being vulnerable with you now. When I had a chance to speak to Tony one-on-one for a couple minutes and share some ideas and thoughts about what happened in my life, it just reminded me that shit, he's telling me that all the things I've been thinking about doing in my life and all the things I wanted to do in my life are happening. If you want to make things happen in your life, you have control over that. The changes that happen in your life, whether it be life change, death, dying, divorce, loss of a friend, loss of a dog, a spouse, loss of a job, an illness, something tragic in your life, those are moments in your life that are stopping you to say, you need to do something differently. I had a friend of mine tell me she was dating a guy for a while. He had a big drug problem. And she says, I can't deal with him anymore. She continues to date him. And finally she says it's over. Well, ask yourself a question. Every time you go back to the drug addict boyfriend or the girl that continues to drink, that doesn't want to go for help, what is it telling you? You're asking for, you're what they call, you're a glutton for punishment, right? You really are a glutton for punishment. And I'm not trying to be negative on you, but that's what happens when you put yourself in a situation and you settle. Never, ever settle in anything in your life. I know I'm kind of fire hosing you here, guys, but I'm really talking about change. Change is something that's constant, right? You're always going to have to change. Nothing ever will remain the same. Tony Robbins says life will never be the same, because it will never, ever be the same. So Anna's saying, how did you go from experiencing things happening to you and switching perspective to making things happen? Well, because what happened was, one of the changes I went through when I got divorced was I went through a very, very bad depression. I lost 25 pounds. My whole body changed. My whole thought process changed. I was in a very, very bad place. This was in 2010. It affected my job, it affected my health, it affected my partnership with my friends. It just affected everything. And then I realized, I said to myself, okay, I can either let this control me and I can continue to suffer, or I can do something about it. Because what happens is, when you go through depression, or when you go through something that's so tragic, whether it be loss or death or dying, divorce, you hold on to that. And when you hold on to that, you're basically holding on to the stick that is dragging you deep into the quicksand. When you think you're holding on to a branch of a tree, when you're holding on for life, what you don't realize is that tree is attached to that branch is attached to a tree that's in the quicksand with you, and you're going down with it. It's holding on to bad things. You have friends of mine that are in recovery, whether it be an AA or they've gone through drugs, and I'm so proud of them, because they live a life of being clean, because they know the alternative is not there. So hopefully, Anna, that answers your question. So you go from experiencing really bad stuff, something switches in your head. You say to yourself, okay, I'm done with that. Okay, it's over. I'm finished. I'm disconnecting. I'm cutting it off. I'm walking away. I'm saying goodbye. That's how you have to think of change in your life. You have to cut it off. You're going to cut it off like they use a term in the 80s. You're going to get rid of it like a bad tie. Right? You're going to cut it off like yesterday's leftovers. You're just going to throw it away. I can sit here and throw you all kinds of analogies, but change is something that you're going to have to face every single day, whether it be in your life or your business or your health. All I want you to know is, make that change every day by embracing it. Be the anticipator of change. Be on the edge of anticipating what needs to come next. Don't settle. But here's something to think about. Don't always think about change and not enjoy moments. You got to celebrate little wins. So if you're on a journey to lose weight, you want to lose 20 pounds, or better yet, if you're 250 pounds and you want to weigh 220 pounds, and all of a sudden you weigh 245 pounds, celebrate the 5 pounds that you lost, damn it. Feel good about that. Feel good about that. Change is something you always have to be mindful of. You always have to embrace it. What do you guys think of change? I want to hear your comments. Make sure you put them in the chat box below, and I'm going to answer all of your comments. I'm so grateful for all of you that stayed here. I know you have choices to go to different videos, excuse me, and you have options to watch videos, because the only way I'm going to rise above the noise is just to be myself, and hopefully you've enjoyed that. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. A big what's up to all my friends on Long Island, in New York, in Connecticut, and all across the country who joined me today. Thank you so very much. I hope you have a great day. Big what's up to my sister Helene. I love you, honey. I love you very much. Thanks for joining. And to anyone else who joined, thank you so very, very much. Have yourself a great day. Once again, I'm Anthony Conklin. You can find me at anthonyjconklin.com. I am a speaker. I love to come speak to your audience about passion, purpose, and building that bridge of why. Living in your why, being your vulnerable self, and adding value to people's lives, because that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, it's not what you've kept, it's what you've given away. Les Brown says you have greatness within you. Lewis Howes says, step into your greatness. You have to step into your greatness every single day. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. You're going to get your ass kicked. You're going to get your teeth kicked in. You're going to get bloodied. You're going to get cleaved, that they say in Game of Thrones. But you have to step into your greatness every single day. You were born with a very special gift, and you know what it is already. You already know what it is. Go find a mentor and find a coach to help pull it out of you. That's what you need. If you want me to come speak to your organization, please send me an email. I'm at ac@anthonyjconklin.com. I'm at Anthony J. Conklin everywhere. Snapchat, Anthony.ace on Instagram, here on Facebook Live. Thank you so much for being here. Go live your passion. Change is good. Until next time, I love you guys. We'll see you soon.